Hello and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture we are going to implement another program which is simple million word count program. So main idea is Python pair words with the number of times the number will appear in this triple quoted string, which is basically our string. So let me just create the new file in order to create this lecture program. So first of all we'll just say simple million word, or you can simply say word count problem.py, which is in Python file, and just save it in this desktop where you have made this project folder. So first of all I'll just say that is word string, which is said to be the string whose words should be counted. So let me just make this triple string in order to just make a string over here. So you can check this resource section to grab this word string, but I have in this notepad, this is the long text over here. So let me just grab this one and copy this in this word string, and let me just paste it in this word string. So if you wonder why we just use this triple quote and ending triple quote over here at the last in order to create this string, then that is basically we have used a multiple quote over here. So you could see in here we have used maybe here the single dot, or what we say apostrophe over here. So you have used apostrophe and you have used more apostrophe here, and somewhere here we must have used the double quote. So in order to just remove that broken string, so let me just remove this one and let me show you. So if you see here, you could see here something that is, this is our broken string. So you could see this part is our string and this part is our broken string. That means if you just print now, that is this word string. So let me just print this word string over here, then it is not allowed over here even, so it should be over here. Let me just print this, let me say word string. Then you could see error right away, which is saying UL while scanning this right here at the beginning. So it is because you have just created this string, but this part which is not any string is a broken string. So in order to just remove that, we have made use of this triple quote, and it should be right down here. So let me just put one more quote over here. So this is our word string whose words should be counted in this program, which is simple million word count program. So let me just make a program over here. So let me save this first now, and let me print this down, and you could see all of this text, which is the string over here, is printed. So let me just remove this statement, and we'll just make another, that is word list variable, which will just contain this string, which is our word string. So let me just make here word string, and we can use, that is the split method of this string. So I'll make use of this split method which is within this string. So let me just make another variable which would be word frequency, which will just give the frequency of this word. So let me just make this one, and let me just make use of this list comprehension. So what you do in this list comprehension is we make use of this word list dot count method. So we have used here the count method in order to count our string, which would be w, and I'll just say for w in this word list. So what we did here is, let me just type it down first really quickly, and you could see we have a looping here. So this is basically a list comprehension. So in this list comprehension, what you did is basically you make use of this body. So it is same as saying, that is loop first, that is w in word list, and after this what you do is you just give this word list the count of this every word. So it is same as saying this. So instead of just doing in the same line, you could do something like, let me say over here, let me just loop it once in this word frequency, that is our word list, not a word frequency, and after just looping, I want to just make use of this count method in order to just give this count over here. So if I just print this down, you could see all of the count, and it should be count of every word over here. but using this, which is list comprehension, will just allow us to create a list within the same line, and it can be stored in this word frequency. So it is more readable using this list comprehension, where you use this as a body, which is the first thing over here you write as a body, which is of this for loop, and you give this loop around it. And if you have any condition, like here, if I say if w is, let me say let me just say not equal null, and if it is the case, then I want to just count this down. So I'll just say if it is null, then let me just count this down. So if you have this condition should be just provided at the last in the list comprehension. So let me just copy this down and print this down over here. That means you have the same that is done over here in this same line. So you can use either this one or this one. So instead of this, I want to make use of list comprehension over here. So let me remove this condition. So after we make this word frequency, now it's time to just print some of this string. So let me just comment it out first, and let me say /n. So before that, I'll say string, and it should be string. So why it is, so it should be string over here, and after that I'll just say /n, and I'll just format it, and let me just pass another /n, and I'll just format it with using this format method. So in this format method, we'll just pass this word string, which is our string, and let me just close this print statement. In the next print statement, we'll just say list, which should be our list of words. So let me just put /n and the curly braces in order to comment it out, and put another /n, and I'll just say format this down with my word list. So I'll just say word list. So this word list should be closed over here, that is print statement. So word list is basically this list, which should be now converted to string. So word list is not the string, so it should be converted or typecasted to string first. Let me just pass here string, and we'll just pass here as a string, and let me just close this print statement. So next one would be our frequencies, which is using this word frequency, which is our list comprehension. So I'll just say frequencies first. So in this frequencies, what you need to do is we'll just format it with these curly braces, and let me just make use of this format method, and we'll just pass word frequency, which also should be converted or typecasted to string, which is basically the list. And if you see here, the list is generated using this list comprehension inside this word frequency, which is typecasted to format in order to format in this place. So next, in the last one would be our pairs. So in order to print pairs, let me just format it first, and it should be pairs, and I'll just say /n and give this curly braces /n one more time, and just format it using this format method. So it should be format, and remove this one. And first is to make use of this dict method, which will just get us a dictionary, and we make use of this zip function. So in this zip function, what you need to do is we'll just make use of this word list, and we make use of this word frequency. So we have make use of this word list and word frequency in order to zip or make a pair. So this zip will basically makes us a pair, and basically that pair can be in the form something like this. So if you have, let me just take example over here. So if you have something like, let me say the, then it will just say something that is the has appeared 4 times in this string using this zip method. So it is important to know about this zip method, and dictionary is basically to create dictionary about that zip. So zip basically creates us a tuple, and that tuple can be converted to the dictionary, and you can just format over here, and that will be our pairs of the word list. In this word list we have a word, and frequency is basically using this count method over here to get the frequency of the word. So when I just save this down, and don't worry about this string, it will be available in the resource section. Make sure you check out once again, and let me save it down, and let me just press the F5. Then you could see this million word count problem solution over here. So first one over here was our string, and basically we have a string over here which was just given is here. So first of all, we have just printed that string, and we have now list, or using this list we have just splitted. So this list was created where we just splitted this list. So we have a scene was splitted, and every word, so every word over here is splitted in this console. So first scene is splitted, I is splitted, so every word over here is splitted. So next statement was our this statement where we make use of this list comprehension in order to just create the word frequency. So let me see here. So if you just go down here, which is basically the frequency, then you could see this one is the frequency for every word. So if you see here, and let me say that is in the case here, that is, let me say forest. So forest is in this 5th position. That means if you go down here, so you have got this forest only one time in this string, and this 57 time you have got something like, let me say, the was appeared 57 times in this string, and it is just using this list comprehension. And you have now peer over here. Peer is getting this dictionary where you have this key as a scene, value is how many times this scene has appeared, and basically you can see clearly here this the has appeared 57 times, enter has appeared 3 times. So it is because using this method. So this was printed using this statement where we created the peer first, and we have zipped this. So in order to zip, we make use of this word list and word frequency to create the tuple, and tuple was easily converted into this dictionary by using this dict method where we formatted that dictionary using these pairs, and we have printed here that is the pair of word that has appeared in our string. So it is a simple million word problem where you just get this string that is very large text and get every word counted with just this count method over here. So this will be the wrap for this lecture. See you in the next one.